Welcome everybody to another great episode of Tea and Politics with Maya. And today's episode is, we have a very special guest here today, SRHR Barbie.
Wow!
Hi Dina.
Hi Maya, thank you so much for inviting me in this amazing podcast.
Wow, you're very, very welcome. If you're still confused what the hell type of Barbie this is, which edition of the Barbie this is,
Exactly.
we'll go into details about this. Maybe just a bit of if you're here for the first time. So my name is Maya and I host a podcast about the European leadership, European policy making, and I try to make boring topics a bit more down to earth, which is exactly your speciality, Dina.
Exactly. That's what the Barbie doing now.
But I was thinking that I make boring topics down to earth. You make topics which bring a lot of shame to many people and makes them blush down to earth. So it was meant for us to meet at some point.
That session during the
okay.
Yeah.
So today we're going to explore a bit more sexual rights, gender, and all of the topics that go along with sexual education, women's rights.
Yeah.
I already mentioned shame, and I really want to dig in deeper into this because I've noticed that many times when you speak about sex, if it's about men, it's about bravery, empowerment, strength. When it's about women, it's just like kind of still a lot of shame.
Closet, put it in the back, don't talk about that. Exactly.
Yeah. So let's start from the start. How did you end up where today you're in Brussels, but you originally are in the Netherlands?
Yeah.
So how the hell did that happen?
How the hell I'm here? So today, actually, since yesterday, I was joining the EWAC, the European Week of Actions for Girls. We talk about investing in girls. We talk about gender equality, those norms in the commemorations of International Day of the Girl's Child. So I was facilitating a session literally on how to reactivize and repurpose the social media. Because this is there are a lot of young people selected, there are 8 young people, and they are actually doing the takeover for the European Parliament.
They do need that. I'm sorry to be this direct. If they could use the help, okay?
Sorry, and then they were like, oh, this is fun. And I said, yeah. So during that session, I was literally saying, you have to have your own persona. And I'm introducing to them my own persona, which is the SRHR Barbie. And they were like, what the heck is it okay saying what the heck?
Sure. I think this is the least harmful in this conversation. We're going to go much more dangerous.
Exactly. What is that SRHR Barbie? And I said, a lot of people actually thinking that Barbie is dumb, for example. Barbie cannot talk about something specific or very hard topic or controversial topic. And I'm like, these Barbies, I can talk about sex, I can talk about education, I can talk about funding, I can talk about politics, and I want to decolonize those topics and then make it more fun, so people not stressed when they heard about investing in girls. What is that? So yeah.
Good. And how was the event itself?
It went well, and today I was literally, before coming here, I was just in European Parliament. I was actually interviewing one of the MEP, Marit Mai, from the PVDA GroenLinks. So I was literally asking her, okay, now it's investing in girls. How can you actually ensure that this is not going to be tokenistic? So,
okay. Was there an actual answer in this?
Yeah. Actually, she's very, very progressive. I'm super happy, actually. And then, seeing that she knows what she's doing. And she's actually from Netherlands. And I was like, I live in the Netherlands.
I have an eye on you.
I was asking, I would like to be participant, in the party. I don't know. Maybe, I want to be the politician.
Yeah, they'll be happy to have you.
Yeah. And then they said, yeah.
You have different hats. And now even only listening to this part of your day, it's so many things. So you do social media, you do advocacy, you do also so many other things. Can you walk me through, first of all, what do you do, but also how did you end up wearing all of those hats? Because I'm thinking now if somebody from, I don't know, Eastern Slovakia is looking at this and is like, I want to be the next SRHR Barbie. What do I study? Where do I go to do that?
Yeah. So maybe let's go back to when I was in Indonesia. So I'm actually from Indonesia. So I moved to the Netherlands 5 years ago. I did my master's degree in International Institute of Social Studies. I did master's degree on development studies, but my specialization is children and youth. So I already knew since I was 13, I want to do this master degree specifically in these issues. because I was involved already in the field of sexual reproductive health and rights and child issues since I was 13. I was part of the youth beneficiaries from Plan International Indonesia. That's like NGO, one of the biggest NGO in Indonesia. And then I just learned, about like child rights, and I was so stoked, like, wow, I don't know that actually a child that actually has like more than 32 rights. And actually every single country ratified that they will fulfill the rights of the children, but it's not possible, and they are not doing it. And I was like, wow, actually my country owed me a lot as a child back then. That's what, like, in my head.
But that's a great mentality to have from such an early age.
Yeah, I was 12 and I was like, wow, like this country has that on me. Like they're supposed to take care of me, the rights of like laughing, the rights to go to school, the rights of, you name it. There are 31 rights. You can check that. And then afterwards I was thinking, okay, this is very cool, rather than focusing on so many other things. But then also eventually why I'm focusing more on the issues of sexual reproductive health and rights, because back then when I was 14, I experienced sexual violence. So that was like not a good experience, but then also that is the turning point actually. I turned that bad experience, the stigma and everything into the power that I have now. So when I was 14, I got the sexual violence from my peer. There are like 10 peers of mine from the school, and I actually reported that to my teacher.
I'm very sorry this happened to you, and I really want to congratulate you for reporting it and for being such a brave young girl.
I did report, and then actually like the teacher was a male, and then like he was questioning those, all the things
Should
that he
we
probably
believe them?
Yeah, what did you wear?
Oh.
And I was like, what do you mean? I was at school. I was wearing uniform. And then anyway, and then he was like, who did that? I said, I didn't remember because there are many, and then like he said, oh, then you enjoy the incident. I was like,
oh,
no, what the heck? And then like afterwards, it makes me like stressful. And then it makes me close, like I don't want to even meet people. I wear a lot of layers to school because like I'm afraid that they will do that things again to me. Until eventually like I met Plan International Indonesia, and then they taught me about those things, like, hey, you have rights, to report these cases and everything. So I did together with them again to pursue that until I get the judicial process. However, because in Indonesia, by the way, if you are not raped, it's mean your cases is not important because you are not raped. And I wasn't raped, but I was sexually assaulted and violated. And the judges decided that they will take off the case because it's not important. And I didn't get pregnant because of that. So that's how crazy it is actually in Indonesia.
So it was considered not good enough
not
as a
good
sexual
enough, not
violence.
stressful. It's fine, it's chill, it's not that deep according to them.
I'm really sorry, and I'm just thinking if somebody now is also experiencing this or has experience like this, that whatever you experience is valid, and I hope that you find a way to report it. And I hope that also through the work that you do, the work that I do, and so many feminist organizations, we can really change the system to recognize this as what it is. It's violence. There is no other definition. It doesn't have to be in a specific form to be acceptable enough, like to be bad enough to actually matter.
Exactly.
So, and also thank you for sharing this story.
Like, I've been like past the phase, like for me it's now like I want to even voicing
you own it and you use it.
I acknowledge it, and then like I want this story that actually help another young girls or like women to actually be able and speak up. That me too, if Dina is able to actually speak like that in front of public, no shame, because like it's literally the government fails you, it's not you, like the system fails you, so you never think that like, oh my god, I'm the shame, because I was in that phase, like I'm such a shame, I'm the bad girl, and I was like, why would I be the bad girl? I was just at school.
Well, then it also doesn't help if your supportive adults in your life, in your school, ask you what were you wearing.
Exactly.
Because even if you don't question yourself immediately, this really doesn't help to not start questioning yourself later on.
Yeah, but victim blaming, I think everywhere is still happening. And then it's because of that, because I experienced those struggle. It was like almost a year that I have to pursue this. That's the reason why I create an online reporting mechanism. So that's an app in Indonesia. You can download that. You can download on the Google Play Store and App Store. It's called Lapor Yuk in Bahasa Indonesia, which is translated to just report.
Okay.
You know? And then
straight to the point.
Yeah, just report. And then where you can use actually your phone, you take a pictures, set the location where it's happening. For example, if you do not want to meet the police and tell whatever happening, you explain there, and then it will connect to the specific institutions. For example, if you are raped, then you can just like also connect that to the hospital and then having a medical checkup afterwards, this and that. It was like around 3 years that I have to establish that, and begging the government that, hey, you have to actually work together with me because it's going to help your report, for example, help your own system. And then I got a lot of rejection, more than like 7 organization and institution actually saying, no, this is too advanced. We don't want to have like an advanced reporting because it's going to be a trouble for us. We don't have like enough people to take care of the cases and report. But
so they just want to be like with the ostrich head in the sand and be like, okay, we know this is happening, but we really don't want to have it reported.
Exactly. So that's right. 3 years, but eventually I got one official government that collaborating with us, and then they adopt that. That's the Lapor Yuk. And growing, you know, fast forward, I was thinking like, social media, it's important, you know, like if there is like actually everything happening, like the cases of sexual violence, it's also important from the side of us that we know this is actually a violence. So having a comprehensive sexuality education, it's also important. And I was thinking in Indonesia, majority is Muslim, 97% are Muslim. And I'm also Muslim myself, so I was thinking, no, we never get this at school in the curriculum. We are not even allowed to say penis and vagina at school. Because according to teacher, it's gonna make the kids arouse. So we call it vital area, by the way. Yes.
Okay, interesting.
Yes, I'm sorry, but like, yeah, that's the truth. And then I was saying, okay, because I have the ability and then like all the document from the UNFPA and everything, you know, why not we translate that into fun content or like comics for young people and children in Indonesia so that they can access what's the most nice platform? Instagram. In Indonesia, there are 80 million population that using Instagram.
Okay.
Then I use that to create my own account called Sexdugram.
Okay.
It's an abbreviation of comprehensive sexuality education on Instagram, and that's where actually I create this persona of SRHR Barbie.
Okay. And what type of work did you put before you actually launched it? What type of preparation did you have?
Oh, there's a lot of preparation. So I have to read a document, the Holy Grail. It's called the ITGSE, like International Technical Guidance on Sexual Education.
Okay.
It's launched by UNESCO and UNFPA. And it has more than 187 pages. It's a lot.
Exciting.
It's super exciting. Honestly, the content are amazing. The content actually is very good. However, I'm imagining like people from Papua, like eastern part of Indonesia, who do not speak English. And you have to read like 187 pages.
Yeah, but that's I would say the biggest backlash against the reports that UN. I'm sorry, but it's a lot of them are just there. The only people who read them are people who really specialize in the niche.
Maybe they don't even read that.
Yeah, maybe.
Actually, but I read that literally. I read from page 1 until the.
Good. So whoever authored this, well, it was used on purpose.
And then like I took all the content, like you know, bits by bits, so that creating like small comics. I make also content like, if you know Instagram Reels, it's like fun, like dancing video, like less than 20 seconds, so that like people, oh, what is this? So that they play, repeat. Or if I have like a interviewing type of like content, it has to be less than 2 minutes because people lose the attention and spend time if it's like more than 2 minutes. It's hard, and then I have to prepare a lot, just like you when preparing this podcast. So yeah.
But yeah, actually what I was thinking is that this sounds like a very challenging environment also to launch something like this. Because you started with so there is a bit of a conservative context that you need to infiltrate.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I mean, we have to be very honest, everybody has sex.
Yes.
So how come people are so ashamed to talk about it? if like it's part of your normal life. So how come it's so stigmatized? Can you maybe walk me through the two parts of this question? So maybe you can walk me through the Indonesian culture and how sexual education is perceived, but also how come you're not perceiving it in the same way? Because you were brave enough to be like, I need to fix this.
Yes. So honestly, the reason why I could be like this today, because I used to wear hijab, by the way. Okay. I was very religious back then, but it's by choice. It's not like forced by anyone in my family. Well, my family is quite conservative as well, but I was deciding to wear hijab because I feel like I want it and I have a choice, you know, like I have a freedom to do whatever I want. So
as many women choose to wear hijab.
Exactly. It's not like forced, for example. For me, it's like I like it. I want to wear it. And then, so I decided to wear that, and I was religious enough, you know, I read Quran, I read Hadith, literally. I read Quran more than 7 times, like a lot, like finish. It's more than 6,666 verses. And I read that more than 7 times, by the way, guys. So I learned like from the deep of my heart, because like I want to know more about that. And I went to the religious school as well. And I was quite curious, and then like, you know, I just asked a lot of things. I'm questioning many things. So I asked a couple of questions to my religious leaders, and then the answer wasn't really satisfying me, you know, like it's because, for example, I questioned why the Prophet Muhammad has to do this and that, you know, I'm just challenging the religious leaders and the teacher. And then they said, religion shouldn't be questioned. Like you're supposed to accept everything from the Quran and Hadith by book, by it. Just accept that. And I was like, no, because literally there is one verse in Quran, it says that as a human being, you have to keep questioning. If you stop questioning and being curious, you are dead. Yeah. That's literally the statement from God. So I was asking them like, why? So it's contradictory.
Yeah, but this is the limitation of the people who are supposed to be the tool for the religion. Because my first reaction to what you said is exactly so. I've been to a lot Muslim countries. And I remember one of the museums of Islamic science, which was back really, really centuries ago. One of the statements there was exactly this, that curiosity is encouraged. And you need to keep on developing and exploring and asking questions. So, if you guys are answered in a way that it's limiting, it's the person. It's not anything else.
It's not the religion. Honestly, like I feel like, yes, if they believe that Quran is the holy grail and everything, yes. But then also human being has a limitation to interpret what is like actually written there. And as a human being, the purpose of life is that like always learning and always questioning and stay curious, right? But many of religious leaders, I'm speaking of Indonesia, by the way, it's like, it's just stopped there. For us, it's like we are taught to like read the Quran without knowing even the meaning. So that's what makes me feel like also angry. I feel like I was angry actually, because like why? Like I'm not like developing like this, you know? And then like always the shame about like, hey, as a woman, you shouldn't sit like that, you shouldn't talk like that, you shouldn't get out of the house above 7 p.m. I was like, why? I'm sorry, like it's like weird. And then like you shouldn't be a leader because women's supposed to be just like producing babies, become a wife, and then taking care of the family. And I was like, wow, I wasn't born only for that purpose. Like it's literally crazy. So it's because of that actually I'm trying to pull in and then like calling in this sort of like conservative people, because I know I was part of the community before. So I exactly using as well the statement from Quran and Hadith, so that it can at least open their eyes that talking about sex is not like specifically only teaching penetration, you know, like, oh my god, like if people still think about sex education is only like teaching other people on how to have sex. No. And honestly, you can Google everything now. So if you have kids at home or like teenagers,
they're already Googling
it. Like you cannot tell them not to do that, because the more you're saying that, the more they will be digging deep. What can you do is actually preventing them to do all those bad things happening, like make it ensure that it's safe sex, ensuring that everything is good, this and that, rather than like telling not to do that. Why? Because God telling you not to do that.
But I think that, for example, to me, both as a parent, but also from somebody who comes from... So Eastern Europe has different specificities than for sure than Asia has. But one of them is also the conservatism in regards to sex. And I think that obviously these things have been changing rapidly. But when I was growing up, we were not really talking about this at school. And again, this was, I don't know how many, I'm 40, so this was like 30 years ago. So it was still a bit of like a stigma.
Yeah.
But then, for example, my mom is a doctor, so I had a very medicalized explanation. Yeah, no, but I was part of like a university lecture on what sex is or what pregnancy is, so I kind of knew. But also what I was missing from this, and it took me years to actually realize, is that to me sexual education brings a lot of social ideas about sex, about consent, about the romantic part of relationship, about when you want to say no to something in sex, how you explore your own identity and pleasure in sex, like not the, as you said, the penetration part and the medical part of sex. Because this, and by the way, nobody's Googling this part. The part they Google.
Because probably they don't know. Maybe they just go straight up to the porn website, because they just want to know and learn from the porn. Which is, it's crazy because like whatever in the porn like website is usually just like for modification. They just put it like, for example, why there are a lot of men fetishizing women having, for example, I want the woman with the great boobs, big like this and that. It was like on the porn, like you should learn that actually there are a lot of different types of boobs, for example, so that you are not shocked when you are seeing somebody. Or like, it's just as simple as that. But then like, because there is no equitable, accessible information on sexuality education, it makes people go directly to, let me just watch porn, maybe I will learn from that. That's dangerous.
It's very dangerous because it also, I'm following closely what's happening in France and with one of the large platforms there, and a lot of porn content, and I think maybe this is the best episode to say this, but a lot of porn content is related directly to trafficking and to pedophilia.
Oh, yes.
It's not related to pleasure and to consulting adults at all. So I wish that it's not only about our youngsters should not be taking like life lessons from it. Far from this, it's a lot of crime into the porn industry. It's not pleasure at all.
No, it is crazy. And actually, like they think that, for example, if you're being womanized or like the
handled,
like
that this
being
is
handled,
romantic.
it's cool, because I love the big daddy, for example, something like that. Like, no, girl, you should learn like more than that, literally.
What do you think your platform brings into that direction? Because you have a very down-to-earth explanation to these topics. So how do you think boys and men perceive it, and how do you think girls and women perceive it?
Yeah. Actually, if I can be honest, like, especially, I think there is like one content, it was quite controversial. I think I show the one that I bring, like Quran verses about pleasure. And I told in that video that Prophet Muhammad is very feminist, like very progressive, because he literally told us that you shouldn't just like, when you have sex with your partner, it's not only like penetration. You get a kiss first, you get a caress, you get a hug. That's literally foreplay, you know what I'm saying? Like, he told us to do foreplay even like I don't know how many years ago. So he's very progressive. And then like I got a lot of pushback, especially from the men, saying that all the bad words that they're saying, like, hey mate, you are beep, and then like, but they are targeting me via DM and saying, oh, you are haram, you're gonna go to hell. And I was like, see you there if I have time, If I have time to respond, I will be like making it fun.
This is the best evidence to respond to hate.
Exactly. You're like, see you there, guys. I'm like, because you're watching my content. You know what I'm saying?
They cannot be more haram than this.
No. Like, they cannot be angry. Maybe they are angry and then they will stop, Because like, whatever. But for me, I'm learning if somebody's actually coming from like the far right wing or like they're very conservative, I love it. So like, it's actually humbled me because like, for example, I talk like this, you understand, because you have the knowledge. But then talking to them, we have to use the simple languages so that they can understand, and using their own words and jargon, rather than using our own jargon, because it will not be acceptable for them. So I got a lot of pushback from the men mostly, but couple of them also women, the very, very conservative one wearing hijab, like long hijab, and saying, you are actually just teaching a lot of kids to have sex before marriage. And I was like, no, I didn't. Like, which one? Like, in my part that I'm saying that let's have sex before marriage, no, there is nothing that I'm saying.
It's not that,
No, and then she was saying like, yeah, but like it indicated that you supposed, like your content indicated and telling them to explore sexuality before marriage. And I was saying, it's exactly why I'm teaching them. They can explore what they want so that they know when they're probably getting married, they know what they want and they can tell whatever they want to their own partner. And then if they have like this knowledge, they also have the decision-making process whether they want to do it before or not. It's again like, everybody have an agency. So I'm teaching them to have an agency. I'm teaching them on how to know about the autonomy, consent, this and that. And then if you know everything, for example, if you know that you cannot swim, you are not going to jump.
Yeah.
You're going to die, for example. You learn first. That's why I'm telling them, this is going to be the bad things if you do not prepare yourself. That's what I'm teaching.
But the thing is that we do this type of, like we have as humanity, this type of approach to everything else.
Yeah.
If you think about it. So for example, if you need to prepare your children to travel abroad, you will have a thorough conversation about what does it mean to book your tickets? What does it mean to change transportation?
Correct.
What does it mean to have the schedule of the bus? Whatever.
Yes.
How to beware of pickpockets.
Yeah.
Which, like, if you do the same analogy, like, we don't really do it for sex.
No, yeah. I'm also like questioning that. I mean, I was asking these questions to my parents, like, how do you guys conceive me? Like, that's what my question. And then my mom said that, oh, actually, you were like, we met you out of the flower. And then...
Okay.
So I was made of flower. So I was like, that's crazy. And then I think it's because as well that many, like, see, this is the thing. The reason why comprehensive sexuality education is very important and very vital for women, because women are the source of the knowledge in also, for example, in the family. Usually the kids will be talking more to also the mom. I feel like many kids like are more.
It's a safer conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If the mother are knowledgeable, like knowing how to actually explain everything without like making it like too bad, like it's in the right way, in the the right and the information and everything,
and in a supportive way.
It's in a supportive way. But the thing is, we are lack of that because we are not taught, like especially for many women, we are not taught to be like understanding about these issues. It's not like the the main problem, and they don't believe that women's supposed to talk about this.
But I'm thinking now of a very ridiculous metaphor. But so I've been recently diving a lot into neurodiversity and women and ADHD and autism in women, and how because of the lack of proper diagnostic tools, a lot of women grow old not being properly diagnosed with autism. And when they do get diagnosed, is when they have a child with autism. And because they accompany them through the process of diagnostics, they were like, oh my God, I'm also autistic. So I'm just thinking that we are kind of doomed to explain to our daughters how to be safely in their own sexual identity if we're full of shame about sex.
Yes, no, definitely.
It's the same. Like, if we're not confident and we don't speak about it in a shameful way, how can we actually raise a confident generation?
Exactly. I mean, it's intergenerational trauma, right? Like, it's the trauma and then like the bad things that brought by my ancestor, probably like up until my mom, and then like I miraculously, no, not miraculously, it's because I was
projects
curious.
them.
Oh, and they projected to me like, Dina, you shouldn't do this, because when I was a kid, when I was like, it was your era, like my era is not like that. So I feel like the intergenerational trauma and also the lack of information and knowledge from them, it makes us like actually also not knowing many stuffs, like, and then it's just that it's like all the culture and also like the society will be like, especially in Indonesia, they will be like seeing women too loud, unapologetic, not wearing hijab, not married. I'm almost 30, by the way. I'm 29, and then like they call me expired, by the way, because like I'm not
expired.
Yes, because I'm above 25. I'm supposed to have like 3 kids by now. Like you have 3 kids.
But I started young, but I'm know, it's also the other stigma is when you start young. It's also not good because you get the other side of the criticism that like, you're not like experienced enough and mature enough.
Exactly.
So there's not really a good, like, acceptable way to be a woman.
Oh, there is not, like, literally. If there is a book about how to be a good woman, like I will buy, honestly. But no, everything is
no, you shouldn't buy. We should not buy that
if
book.
There is, I said if there is, but there will no.
There will never be one consensus.
Because everything is wrong. Whatever we are breathing wrong. Like I'm doing this, I'm wrong. Like there is always like criticism. And I mean, I'm living in the criticism for so long time. I just, that's why like whenever there is somebody like talking shit about me, I will be making fun of it, you know. We have to fighting with joy. I feel like, because if we are not, this issue is already stressful, you know, like I could have chosen another pathway of life, you know, but I chose this. That's why I have to make it like fun and enjoyable. Because if I'm not even happy with my activism and advocacy, then who will be happy as well, you know?
And where do you balance Dina and the sexual rights and reproductive health Barbie? How do you balance those two?
I don't know. I feel like it's sort of, I am embodying the SRHR Barbie already as well, sort of. But maybe what's the difference is that in my personal life, if somebody's like do not understand whatever about the topic that I'm talking about, I will be cutting it off. You know, like, if I'm too stressed, okay, no, stop. But if I'm putting the head of SRHR Barbie, I'm realizing that not everybody actually knowing whatever you are talking about, you know. So don't ever assume that your issues is important, or like your issues is everybody knows about your issues, you know. Sometimes probably talk about like people in let's say probably Myanmar. I was talking about maybe sexual reproductive health and rights is not like an important issues for them, probably. That's why always explaining, always having like a benefit of the doubt that they do not understand, and explain it in the right way, in the easier way, it will be like much more nice. And then always remembering, I always think like this, like whenever I want to explain about SRHR, CSE, all those jargonal things,
only the abbreviature are common between the people who work in the field.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have to think that I'm explaining this to my mom, because my mom is not from this field, and it's so hard to explain everything to her. And it's actually challenging me that, okay, if you do not even know how to explain what is CSE less than 1 minute with the right and plain words, it means you are not successful enough yet, or you
don't know how to do the job.
Exactly. So I have to imagine whenever I'm explaining about this, that's my mom. I have to explain to my mom.
Yeah, but I was recently arguing about a similar point about finances and accounting and budgets. If you have a financial director who is explaining to you in a way that is making you more confused than before meeting the financial director, you need to train your financial director better. And I've been so blessed that I've worked only with magnificent people, but it was exactly like this. If somebody cannot explain their job like this, they maybe should just
probably think about another pathway of it's not too late to change your career.
Well, okay, I wanna explore a little bit from building on your social media work, building on how you reframe the UN documents into comics. How do you bring back this work to advocacy and policy making? Because when we met with you, it was more about advocacy, capacity building. It was not about social media. How do you like build it back to the political level?
Yes, exactly. That's why I have like I feel like I have 3 different personalities.
Introduce me, I know only 2 so far.
No, that's why there is like a Dina part, there is the SRHR Barbie, everything is on social media. But apart from that, I'm also working, guys. I'm working full time. I have a job that fulfill my needs, which is I'm working at the Yield Hub. I'm working as I'm taking care of the community and partnership there at the Yield Hub. So if you do not know Yield Hub, go check. In Instagram at yield_hub. Well, what we are doing is actually we are trying to reimagine how the donors, how the institutions implementing the meaningful and inclusive youth participation or youth partnership, how they're supposed to work with the young people rather than only thinking them in the middle after like the project is running.
And asking them for the picture and the balloons.
Yes,
at
the
end. I heard this.
Youth and like no, so we are trying to convince them and then like reimagining the work that before even you think, before even you do, you already think that young people are supposed to be there. You're supposed to have youth advisory panel, for example, in your own organization so that they can hold you accountable. So that's what I'm doing, connecting the donors with the youth-led organization all over the globe. At the moment, we have more than 140 organizations join. So that's my work. But of course, it's always related to sexual reproductive health and rights as well. So it feels like there is always a bit that quite the same. And there in the Yield Hub is the one where I'm actually turning all those content creation kind of way, the comics, into diplomacy pathway. Because like, we believe that there are 5 different stakeholders. Like, you have to tackle as well young people. You have to involve with them. And I feel like young people all over the world, they already like reclaim their power. They know what to do, whatever they want to do. They have the social media platform. It's easier to reach them out. There is also in here like civil society organizations where we actually connect whatever like happening with the young people, and they are actually also working on the grassroots level. So there are also people that already know the issues. There is also NGO, like the big names, the one that actually get the funding, get the exposures and everything. We need to work together with them because they have more opportunity. Alas, but yes, that's the reality. And also the donor, where actually when the donors see us, like for example the young people or whatever, they just see, oh, you are all young people, whatever you are doing, you are the same. Actually it's not, like sometimes it's different topic, it's different issues, but then for them, I don't care, I just know that you are young people. That's for the donor. That's the reason why,
like a homogeneous mass together.
Exactly. And then last one is UN, UN and government. And I always believe that as because I'm working at the NGO, right? In the NGO, we are only the secondary duty bearer. We are not the one that always responsible to implement the trajectory in the country level. That's the reason why we need to work together with the UN and also the government officials, because they are the one that you're supposed to do that. That's your responsibility. Like, we pay our taxes and everything. Why I'm already thinking about this, I'm doing this, why I have to be, taking care of you as well. This is your thing, So turning that content, it's actually easier to the diplomacy part, because as well, they don't want to read all the paperwork like too much, in the UN government official. They already stressed. Probably they have 10 meetings in a day. So it's easier because like I'm speaking from the grassroots level, I'm speaking from the reality that young people actually experiencing every time. And then it's literally just like a storytelling kind of way that I'm turning into the data and then the statistic. That's what I'm doing, and I'm advocating this kind of issues with also the project that I'm doing at the Yield Hub, which is using the action learning processes. So they were saying, oh, okay, so who's talking? I said, it's me, the young people, and also this. So it has a proof. So for them, oh, okay, so what's the effect? This is this. And then
so it's actually very much linked both to your grassroots work, to your social media. Yeah, but that's a nice like package that you bring to the table.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm lucky enough, I feel like this is like my hobby, honestly, that get paid.
I have a mission in my life to remind women that it's not luck. You have worked so much. You have worked so much, and I've heard this from so many women that they feel that they are lucky to have, you have achieved this. You're very smart, you have been very determined, and you got what you deserve.
True. And guys, like, I don't even sleep like 8 hours a day, like, because I work a lot of things. I have deadline to complete this and that. But yeah, I mean, privilege, yes, I'm realizing and acknowledging my privilege, but some privilege are earned, some are also, you get it. But like for me, mostly as someone from Indonesia, that I can and I am able to work now here in the EU area, and then like I can speak about these issues. I feel like I've earned my way as well, because it's a hard work, honestly. So I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, there is not a lot of women who do this, first of all, but there is also not a lot of women who come from anywhere outside of the global north and the global west. Yeah. So it's a very unfortunate conclusion, but that's the case.
Exactly.
So we need to own this as well.
Yes.
Okay, I have a few more questions so you don't lose your train.
Okay.
So when we speak about policy making and when we speak about progressive, because the thing is that I don't know how and when we decided that sexual education is a progressive topic, because like one of the most obvious topics, like we have food policy, we have energy efficiency, and I don't know how like sex as a basic human need why is this more progressive than having like a normal knowledge about the other part of the world? But whatever, this is my own monologue now. So my question is to you, if this is seen as such a progressive thing, how do you handle the political change in the world? Because we have more and more not progressive policymakers.
Yeah. I feel like it's actually moving backwards now, because there are a lot of far right wing happening, and then they are saying...
In the Netherlands, you have a good experience with that.
Yes, I'm a Muslim myself, I'm a woman, immigrant, they just want to kick me out.
So you have all the winning qualities.
The down three people. The missing part is that I have a job. If not, then maybe they already kicked me out. But honestly, yes, I feel like, again, that's a very good question, actually. That's an obvious thing, sex. Like, without sex, you cannot reproduce, you know what I'm saying? That's so weird when people like thinking about sex as a shame. But I feel like, back again, it's a culture, it's a dismissive culture where many women supposed to just like accept, don't question, because the more you question, this is exactly why they are stressed now, the far right wing. There are too many people talking, a lot of like amazing women like talk. They don't want us to talk. They want
keep on talking.
They just want us to do, accept, don't defy my instruction. That's what they are always saying, right? So actually, I feel like when they are like angry like this, or they are like coming from their cave, suddenly like saying, go back to your country, you are a woman, you're supposed to do this and that. It's because they are afraid, honestly. It's just like they're seeing there are a lot of amazing women that now reclaiming their own power, and they're realizing that their position is actually at stake.
Which doesn't feel nice.
No, it doesn't feel nice, right? To be on the edge. We've been there, done that. So they're afraid of that, honestly. And what I want to say is that like with the changing political... I don't say it's normal, but it's like a cycle, when you are like being cornered like that, of course you are going to try as much as you can to take care of the position and ensure to keep and retain the position, so you are not going to be like replaced. Because many of the political leaders are male and men. I mean, honestly, you can count. There are a lot of men. I mean, especially in my country as well. I feel like only less than 20% women representative in the political leaders and parties. So yeah, so we need to speak more about that, because like without us, I feel like this is just gonna be, we're gonna go back again to Flintstone era. I feel like that's crazy. But yeah, honestly, just keep talking about it, and I feel like if we stop doing it, and I feel like it's good that we are now having social media presence, and it's easier to just record everything, and there is like a proof, so it's gonna be good, and then we keep talking about that. And this other part that's important, do not work in silo. Many of us actually still work in silo, and then saying like, no, this is my own pathway, like it's different, it's my own brand, you shouldn't like work together.
We should absolutely branch out. I think this has to be the biggest lesson from this type of right-wing rise, that we really need to
work like them.
Talk to each other.
Okay, I don't say that they are good. What I'm saying, their system is actually quite successful, that making them like now big because for them, I don't care who you are, where you're from, you are far right wing like me, that's them. For us, it's like there are a lot of classification of which type of feminist are you? What type of work are you?
And you can never be the right type of feminist.
No, and I was like, no, girl, we're the same. We're working on the youth issues. Why you have to ask me what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be like collaborate. The more you collab, the easier it's actually make us growing, and then rather than like a one-man show or like one-woman show kind of thing. And as well as the funding, we haven't even talked about funding. Like the funding cuts, it's because as well, for example, there are 10 million euro, and then the amount of the budget that going to the youth-led, women-led organization is less than 1% out of that 100 million, for example. And then after that, you are gonna go again for the global majority, less than 0.1%. So if you keep trying to labeling yourself, I'm this kind of organization, I'm focusing on this, you will not get like the budget, because it's hard. So that's what I'm saying, collaborating and then connecting with the organizations that already like doing this, and then at the end of the day, you are doing the same work. And it's good. It's just like gonna be
There are nuances that maybe we'll never fully agree, but I don't think that we also need to agree on everything 100%.
Of course.
Because there is a very much, like, depending on where you come from, how you were brought up, how you see the world, you do advocacy in a different way for different topics, and that doesn't make it less important. Like, I myself have not worked in sexual rights, but I found your advocacy work really important. And I think that it's really good that you are doing what you're doing, and I really want to congratulate you for being the badass that you are. Do you want to shout out some of the, like, where can people find you? Like, where can they see your work?
Of course, you can always find me on my personal account. It's Dina Chaerani, the C is silent, DinaChaerani, Dina Chaerani. And also my own organization called Sex Dugram, Sex Dugram, Dugram. And also my own organization where I work literally.
And the actual work?
The actual work is at yield_hub. And I have my own website where I actually host the Sex O'Clock. Go to the webpage of familyplanningNewsNetwork.com because you are going to see all the content. For example, am I haram or are you to alarm?
The best question.
It's like, am I haram or are you alarm? Like, guys, let's learn together. And all the topic around that, because I feel like we need more people to discuss about sex, but not only sex. Again, like what you're saying about consent, bodily autonomy, about exploring the sexuality itself, identity, also representative. You know, and then also the funding, the politics of funding, like that's everything in that pool of Sex O'Clock news. So you can see there.
Well, there is a lot of food for thought there. I mean, it's not really related to what we discussed so far directly, but I want to shout out the My Voice, My Choice campaign.
Yes.
Lately,
I love them.
They are really doing an amazing job, and I'm really impressed by the amount of people taking photos with their sparkly pink shirts about the reproductive rights fairy. So, really great job from this campaign.
Honestly, one of the stuff looks like you exactly. Yes, Maya. Like, go check. Literally, I think the campaign officer, it's like, oh my god.
Okay.
I don't think it's like Maya. Like,
hi, campaign officer.
She's amazing. She's amazing. Follow that. I love them so much. And they talk about abortion, right? It's another case again. Like, abortion, oh my god, in Indonesia. Girl, if you are, for example, raped, let's say, you wanna abort the baby because you don't wanna have a baby without your consent, right?
Which also doesn't happen even when you're not raped. You sometimes don't want to be.
Exactly, but I'm talking about like the bad case scenario.
Okay.
You are not allowed to actually do that if you are not married and you are Muslim. Because in our ID card, this is like fun fact. Well, not so fun.
Are you serious? I didn't know that.
Indonesian ID card, it stated your marital status and your religion. Your occupation, your blood type, your address, everything. But marital status and religion. So the moment you want to do the abortion, you are not married and you are Muslim, the bombastic side eyes from the medical, literally the medical people.
The supporting stuff around it is not
like,
supportive.
But, you know, if you're doing this, you're going to be this, but you're Muslim, it's haram to abort the baby, you're going to go to hell. That. Because I experienced this when I want to do the pap smear. Back in Jakarta in Indonesia, and then I went to the clinic and then they said, are you married? No. Are you Muslim? Yeah. We should ask your father first. Oh, my father buried already, like he passed away. What do you mean? Like, why do you want to know about this? Yeah, because like you are Muslim and you are not married, so we have to ask the permissions and consent from your parents that you are willing to do the pap smear, because we're gonna insert some stuff like the tools, and it means that it will break the hymen. I was like, hello, I'm paying for this, like just do your job. And I'm literally asking for pap smear because I'm realizing that there will be a chance for us to get the HPV and everything. And they're like, yeah, but you shouldn't do this before marriage. Your future partner will be like crying because you are no longer virgin.
Okay, well, this, I think it's a very different long conversation about how faith and science and medicine needs to coexist, because I'm really interested to have this as well, maybe with a panel also, because there's a lot of different religions who decide instead of science, and I think that this is not it's not an actual religion.
It's
that's
not.
Really
it's the people.
They've been
indoctrinated since they were before they were born, probably. I was thinking, it's like, no, this is not good, you shouldn't do this and that. So I have a talk as well around the virginity myth in my content, so you should see as well. And that's actually have a lot of problem from the conservative as well.
I'm sure you're great for them. I'm sure you deliver a lot of material for them.
I love them, like we're supposed to educate these people more, because if you feel only comfortable and you just talk with the people that knowing these issues, what is the purpose of your work? Like we supposed
everyone agrees with each other. No,
yeah,
we don't
exactly.
want that.
You are in the wrong panel. Like you're supposed to be in the room where everybody's challenging you. So I feel like
Well, maybe if we have not pissed enough people, can I ask you then for something you mentioned and we didn't dig in deep enough about decolonizing sexual education?
Oh, yeah.
Because I think that this is something we really maybe need to rethink a bit.
Yes. Okay. Decolonizing, it's like a jargon now, everybody using decolonize. What is decolonize? Honestly speaking, for example, thinking I'm trying to talk in the easier way and language. Okay, so for example, why we have to decolonize some stuffs? Again, I'm telling you, I have to read 187 pages of the Holy Grail ITGSE. The information is there, it's accessible, everybody can access that.
In theory.
Everybody can search, but will everybody actually read and then implement that? No. That's already like one level of colonialization, because it's only certain people that actually can go to the website, can search which page, can actually read and have the privilege to read and then actually understand the context, or having a discussion with other people that knowing about this knowledge as well, or attending webinar or working in that field. That's number one layer of colonializations already for me. Number two, what language? English. Every single, I feel like all the knowledge around the SRHR kind of thing, it's more like English centric. Imagine that actually if you are using all the language and jargonal in English, probably you don't have the translation in your own language, right?
Yeah.
You have to find a way. For example, like I think I was like having a discussion with my team. I forget what is like one specific word in English, but we don't have the translation in Bahasa Indonesia. That's how hard it is actually to translate that to our own context. So like some people may be thinking, let's say like some old man white telling that like why Indonesia is so like regressive, like they are not progressive. Hello, you are using your own perspective of like white
the delivery man is wrong by the start.
Exactly, like it's in your own language, is in your own knowledge, it's in your own capability and your own structure of like system in your own country that made you possible to do everything. But maybe in Indonesia it's not possible, so it's not our fault, because all the resource coming from your own country, from your own perspective. That's already layer number 3. Layer number 4 is that the languages, it's also already like super like jargonal and like super hard. It's like alien words.
Yeah, like Brussels English. The one that is only accessible in Brussels, even though it's in English.
See, like alien words, like young person, like from certain age, how decolonize, for example. Will like young person like around like 10 to 15 understand what does decolonialization means?
Yeah.
Like no. Or like investing in girls, like, huh? What is that? Like investment? Is it about money? Like no, investing in girls in so many ways. But don't understand because the language is too complicated. Layer number 4. See, that's a lot. And then layer number 5 afterwards is like they do not have a person that actually educate them regularly on this case. The teacher doesn't help. Parents refuse them if they ask about this. The country failed them because like based on the curriculum, like the decision making, saying that this shouldn't be in the curriculum because it's not important enough. What's supposed to be in the curriculum is about religion, make them afraid of God, make them afraid of the government. That's what they are trying to teach us. Layer number 6. So I feel like it's a lot of layer and we have to break all this stigma and decolonize all of these steps. And then sometimes again, I always say that not a lot of young people love reading that much. They love watching.
Yeah.
They love seeing like small things because they have a lot of other
and this needs to be destigmatized as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why you have to, I mean, if it's okay, because there are a lot of different type of learning. Some people learning by moving, some people learning from the video. Why you only provide everything from the writing? That's also already like not inclusive. So I was trying to say is that this is important, where we actually think from our own perspective. Imagine if you are somebody that do not have like all this knowledge and privilege, how you actually deliver these issues in the easiest possible so they actually can accept the narrative that you want to teach them.
I think the biggest question here is also, do actually people who produce those reports think about this?
No.
Because they're not you. Because at the end of the day, the decolonization needs to have a step zero.
Of course.
And it's about representation.
Of course.
And I've been really annoyingly remembering and reminding people this in the European Union context.
Yes.
Because as a Bulgarian, I've seen so many unrelatable policies, but Bulgaria is a full-blown ass member of the European Union. And then half of Eastern Europe is just really, I think, uninvolved.
Yeah.
And this is also feeding into these anti-European moods, right-wing, pro-Russia, because we have this interesting thing with the Russian propaganda happening in Eastern Europe. And I really agree with you, and I think we should kind of decolonize the Brussels jargon as well.
Yeah.
There was recently a really nice article listing all of the bottlenecks. We need to build capacity for this. Like, these are things which nobody outside.
Bottlenecks.
Bottlenecks I think is my actual favorite, and I have a confession. Before coming to work in a Brussels-based organization, I did not know what a bottleneck is. And this is because no normal person uses this goddamn expression.
Exactly.
Bottleneck is. I was like, what? And I was so ashamed to admit. And I did Google it eventually during a policy meeting. I will not bear this shame anymore.
No,
this is me. Okay. Look, you are gonna miss your train. So I have my last two questions to every guest, and they're always the same.
Yeah.
What makes you hopeful, and what makes you happy?
Ooh, good questions. Yeah, it's so easy. It's easier to be hopeless, right, than hopeful nowadays. Especially after
It's a great start.
It's easier to be hopeless than hopeful nowadays. But again, at least today I see and I witness the reason why I'm hopeful as well. Because I was facilitating a session. I transitioned from a girl that actually telling people what to do, this and that, and then shouting to all the leaders, you are wrong, la la la. I'm transitioning to be a person that I'm giving a capacity building to another young person, so they could be I'm passing the baton to them. And I was seeing that they are
that's a nice feeling.
Yeah, they are amazing. They are outspoken. They are eloquent. They know all the data. We are talking about female genital mutilations. We're talking about sexual reproductive health rights, HIV, and this is mind you, young people below 25 years old. So see, if you actually give opportunity for us, we ate and left no crumbs. Literally. You just need to believe in us. Give the funding to us. Fund us like you love us. Show that you are loving us. That's what makes me hopeful, because I know that I'm gonna be 30 soon, and probably people saying that you are gonna be aging out. I'm refusing to be aging out. I'm aging up. But it's important to give give the opportunity for other younger generation, because again, not everybody actually have the ability or the opportunity to attend some conferences, to be able to speak up, this and that. Even one of the MEP today says that, it's so nice to see you today in the House of Democracy, because we barely see young people. And I was literally saying, that's already the problem. Why this House of Democracy is not full of young people? Maybe the House of Democracy is the problem. It's not us that we cannot show up there. Maybe because it's so hard to access the House of Democracy that honestly, when I enter the European Parliament, you have to bring your passport, the scan. It's 10 steps. It's very annoying. That's the reason why many people do not want to participate in the EP, European Parliament. You know what I'm saying? So that's already one problem. But I was seeing that these all young people are so eager. They are so smart, and they are speaking from their own perspective. They are not talking about data only, but they are doing it in the grassroots level. That's what makes me actually also hopeful. And then it's honestly just also seeing that myself now, that I can be here today, that I was like literally passing through all the obstacles, all the bottlenecks, all the problem that I have, you know, and then like enduring so many pain and then stigma before, that I was such a shameful person. I wasn't brave enough to speak up. I have to wear a lot of layers because I don't want to show my skin. I'm afraid that people gonna do another sexual violence to me. But now here I am, you know, I'm very open talking about this. I'm still safe. Like hopefully, like after this, still safe. But I'm saying I saw a lot of another amazing women out there that actually the source of my strength and also the power. And I believe that if us, the young generation, together with the older generation, and then the young people, like the children, we do the intergenerational collaboration, it's gonna be perfect. And I'm still believing in that intergenerational collaboration. That's what makes me hopeful.
Nice. Thank you very much for these nice words. I'm so happy that you were here today, and I think we touched on so many important topics. If some of those topics have offended you, great. That's that's part of learning. We need to grow, and sometimes we need to learn how to be triggered and how to handle things which we disagree with. And if you like this conversation, share this video. Speak about it online, because this is not even a micro podcast. This is like a nano podcast. So we need to grow up. How did you say age up?
Aging up.
No, aging up. Growing up, aging up, whatever this means. I want to shout out one last thing for today. Actually, no, two things. So, as you know, Teen Politics is because I'm the founder of the Social Tea House back at home, which is a small social enterprise for youngsters who grew up in orphanages. So, if you want to support this, there will be a link where you can do a donation, because there is a huge Christmas campaign happening. There's a lot of new staff members, and I would really appreciate it if you support the cause. And then I also want to shout out one of my dearest friends, who is the author of these fancy mugs. So this is Live, Love and Create. It's a small brand, and Jana is a regular listener to the podcast, and I love her so much. And she's one of my, you know, because when I was doing this concept for this podcast, I was thinking like, who the hell is going to listen to this? And it's so interesting because I thought it's mainly going to be policy people. And then I end up with so many random listeners, like friends from different circles. But so Jana is a ceramic artist and a photographer.
Oh,
and she listens to like our blabbering about sex. So a lot of love.
It's so cute, Jana.
Yes, so you can also buy this for Christmas gifts. It's not a social enterprise, an actual enterprise, so go buy stuff. Okay, and support feminist artists, because that's a really important niche.
Definitely.
Well, I think this is it for today. Thank you very much for being here and for doing what you do. I'm so happy we met. And
indeed. I made her laugh a lot of time, because like she was like, what I have to write from this session.
Yeah, I was supposed to take notes out of a workshop that Dina was doing, and then all of the notes that generally I have are about policy make. Yeah, well, I had to like type down orgasm and pleasure several times in a policy doc, and I realized I don't know how to take notes from your speeches. So this is my learning path, okay? My learning curve. Okay, guys, thank you very much for being here. Be kind and hug your family and try to be a decent human being until the next episode and further on. And subscribe, like, share all the YouTube stuff. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.
Thank you so much, guys. Stay safe. Safe abortion. Safe sex.